But first, we're going to tell you what you should expect when you hire a lawyer. Joining us right now, we have attorney Brent Burks from the McMahan Law Firm. We're not talking about hiring the best lawyer, looking for that. When we're saying once you have hired, this is what a lawyer should do and what you should expect on our end. And I think we'll jump right in really to the first question here. And lots of times you have that fear of picking up that phone call and saying, I just want to sit down and talk to see if I have a case, but is that going to cost me? In many cases, that can actually be free.
That's right, Brian. Thanks for having me on the show again.
Sure.
And what I'd like to say is, make sure what type of case you're talking about. There are lawyers, if you're looking at a will or you're looking at a business transaction, that do bill only by the hour. And their time, a famous quote is Abraham Lincoln saying, a lawyer's stock and trade is his time and advice. But in what I do, in Mr. Kennamer and McMahan Law Firm, in personal injury work, there is a free consultation because we do not charge by the hour. We can normally tell somebody either a sit-down interview or over the phone whether they have a case that we think has merit that we can pursue. And so we can usually take care of that. It's called a contingency fee.
Now, obviously, once that point has gone on and that we do hire, there's a lot of fees and things like that. And obviously, there's done by time, too. What can people expect to pay?
Well, what I would tell people is they have a right to know the fee up front before they sign the contract, and they need to have it in writing. That's a must.
Sure.
But the fees can vary depending on what type of case. I think I've been on the show before in the past saying if you're in a personal injury case, car wreck, your standard car wreck case on a contingency fee and the fee's more than 1/3, I would ask why. If it's a complex products liability case or discrimination case, sometimes the fees can be 40%. By statute in Tennessee, workers' comp cases are 20%. And then, of course, like I say, if it's somebody doing transactional work, a business lawyer or a patent lawyer or wills and trusts, that can be X dollars per hour with a retainer.
Now, as far as communication goes, obviously we'd love to just pick up the phone and call you and talk to you at any time of the day, but what kind of communication is there once the hiring process has been done?
Well, communication is important, very important. I would say that there's two complaints that I get most when people call me sometimes about other lawyers that they fired. And that is, don't hear from them, they don't return my phone calls, and number two, that my case is not progressed in a timely manner, at least what that person thinks is a timely manner.
Sure.
So I would say you expect to get phone calls back. At our firm, our policy is to return all phone calls within 24 hours, if at all possible, unless it's a Sunday or something, maybe perhaps. And then secondly, we send out periodic letters every 90 days that really is just a checkup, and it's sent to the client. It's not from me saying, here's what's going on, but it's what are your concerns, what are your thoughts, what questions do you have for me? So we try to keep people up to date. I think that that's very important and people should expect that.
And I think probably one of the biggest questions that you may have too is how long is this going to take? And I know that can vary because sometimes you see cases 2 or 3 years down the road and think, wow, but sometimes your hands are tied too.
Absolutely. Every case is different, and I do want to be clear on saying that. Some cases may require 3 or 4 medical depositions. Doctors do not come to court in Tennessee. Normally, they could choose to come to court, but they're immune from subpoena. I can't make them, so we go to them. I might ask for their deposition, and they may give me a date 4 or 5 months from now. And you can imagine if there's 4 or 5 of those to coordinate, there may be engineers involved. So cases could take 6 months, or cases could take 3 or 4 years. And each case is different. I would sort of tell people to ask their lawyer to make sure they have a plan. Make sure that lawyer has a plan for their case, to get their case ready for trial, because only after it's ready for trial do the offers many times get fair from insurance companies.
When there's that thought of that it could take 2 or 3 years on some of these, does that tend to scare some people off and you tell them no, continue to pursue it and continue as fast as we can? Well,
it's the truth. I tell people, I can tell you what you want to hear, or I can tell you the truth, and I like to always just tell people straight up what's going to happen, what I believe is going to happen, what I think their case, they may think it's worth a lot more than I do, for instance. They may think I can get it over with very quickly. But I'm not doing them any favors if I don't tell them the truth and those kind of things.
And real quickly here, you have a couple of other things that people should expect, and we'll maybe go over a couple of those as we're running out of time here.
Yeah, it's sort of a basic thing, but we have a client bill of rights at McMahan Law Firm, and one of the top things on there is that the client has a right for us to treat them with courtesy and respect. And I like to sort of tell people that goes both ways.
Sure.
Your relationship with your lawyer is kind of like with your doctor or your plumber or your whatever. If things aren't working out, you can go a different direction. But that's a big thing. I would make sure that the lawyer that you're hiring is competent to handle the kind of case you've got. Ask them about past results and that kind of thing. All
right, folks, it is McMahan Law Firm. Give them a call. Hold Brent to it. He's telling you what you should expect, and I'm pretty sure he will deliver that. 423-265-1100 is the phone number. You can also go to the website, which is McMahanLawFirm.com. As always, appreciate you coming in.
Thank you, Brian.